bitches.
We got a new segment. Faye started it last week, interviewing me, and it's get to know a partner. Um, so this week you got to know me last week. So this week the Pattawon is going to be interviewed. So yeah, man, how you doing, Pat?
I'm a good man. I just got off work earlier, so I got a little rested. I had a little bit of a Red Bull, so I can charge myself up, man.
Right on. You ready for this?
Oh hell no! Nah. But yeah, we can go right on in it because that's how I do life.
Hell no. He said, "Oh hell no." Well, what was your childhood like, Pat?
My childhood was pretty cool. Like I was going through a lot of stuff, but it's kind of like, let's say, I was living in it, so I didn't know something was wrong until later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, my mom and my real dad separated or whatever for whatever reason, and I couldn't figure it out until I became an adult. Why? You know what I'm saying? So
That's real.
I lived in the same neighborhood. I was in a neighborhood where my grandmother was like in charge of the neighborhood in Portsmouth. So pretty much most of my neighbors was family. And then like I had my real dad side of the family. They were living there because basically my grandma was the manager there. And
Right.
then my mom's side of the family was there pretty much. So I was everybody knew me around the neighborhood as, little version of Pat. He's not Pat, but my real dad's name is the same as my real name. Okay,
Gotcha.
so
Look, Pat. Big
yeah,
Pat.
yeah. So my mom's parents, they didn't fuck with my real dad or whatever. So I kind of from time to time, he used to work as a maintenance man in the area. So from time to time I see him, and then I, just because I'm curious to know where I was at it. I remember I was in kindergarten, and the teacher I had asked about my family. I was like, I don't have a dad. I live with my mom, and that was it, or whatever. And it wasn't until I said that out loud that I realized, wait a minute, that shit is not right. Something,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But majority of the time, I kind of like in Portsmouth. I mean, we live. Portsmouth is not like the richest area in the world or whatever, but my mom was a school teacher. She provided. My dad still provided, whether I knew about it or not. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew me until I moved to Chesapeake in third grade, and I went from being in an all black neighborhood into mostly white. And that was a culture shock. So, like, I don't know. It was weird because like I'll come back to Portsmouth and then they'll be like, "You talk white," and I'm like, "I don't talk white. My mom's a teacher and I talk right, so I don't get my ass whooped."
Talk right.
I talk right, so my mom don't whoop my ass or whatever if I get a bad grade. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So I always been a weirdo. Always been back to myself. For most part in Portsmouth, like my childhood was cool. Had like chilled out with friends around the area. Like it was so cool to the point that I could stay up late at night, and I'm 5 years old or whatever because fucking neighborhood is my family pretty much. And yeah, so you see wild shit at nighttime pretty much.
Yeah,
but
possible.
Yeah.
What have you learned from your transition into adulthood from childhood?
Time wait for no man to do the shit now. And I learned that shit the hard way every fucking day. Sometimes you say it, sometimes they say it. Every type of way possible, just fucking do it or whatever. And I had to learn a lot of stuff that I'm trying to do on my own or whatever. But it wouldn't get learned until I just go ahead and do it. That's pretty much biggest thing right now. Probably others, but that's the one thing that pops out the most.
That's real. That's real. That's a big lesson to learn. I think we've all had to learn that at some point in your life. I think that's a rite of passage for all adults. So I ain't mad at you there. As a child, what was your dream?
I had many dreams. My dreams be vivid or whatever. I'm gonna do the childhood impossible shits, and then I'm gonna say what the real dream was. Pretty much, I was a kid, so I wanted superpowers. That was bad. All right. And then the Batman movie came out, and I was like, oh, all right. The only way, all right. So superpowers ain't real, but I can still be a superhero if I get rich. So my next dream was I need to figure out a way how to fucking get rich in fucking Portsmouth in the 80s. Yeah. All right. So I got into drawing when I was like 5. My youngest aunt or whatever on my mom's side, she used to draw, and she made this painting of what's that character? Strawberry Shortcake, looked just like it. So I looked at it, I was like, oh, you did that? I want to learn how to do that too. I think the first drawing I drew was like a car. It was like a box and wheels or whatever. Yeah. We're gonna pretend it was a box Chevy, but yeah, it was like some boxes and wheels or whatever. And those boxes and wheels turned into Batman over and over again. And then when X-Men came out, I drew Wolverine in so many ways, clawing people. And then I just started making my own characters because I got bored of just looking at everybody else's characters. I was like, man, I could do this shit. Like, you watch cartoons and stuff, and I'd be like, hey, your favorite character do something, but he don't say what you would say. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, if that dude turned his arm into a big ass cannon and blasted me and I survived, oh, I'm talking mad shit. Look at him. He's talking shit the whole time. He got a whole speech. How dare you go against me? Bitch. Like I'm watching Wolverine. I'm watching the closest person that gets close to what I would say is Wolverine. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
so then that's when I got into the dream of like, you know what, one of these days I'm gonna get either my own cartoon or my own comic book, pretty much. So yeah. Biggest dream.
Now I know the origins of Godlike. Got it. What are your life's biggest influence? Maybe give a personal and a celebrity / professional type of influence.
My biggest influences, I would say my biggest influences, my mom first, of course.
That's real.
And then my grandmother, because my grandmother, now, all right, my grandmother is just a beast. Like, pretty much, like when my grandmother, I love my grandmother on my mother's side, but I'm talking about my grandmother on my real dad's side. She was the manager of the neighborhood I was, and I was living in when I was younger. And she taught how to read at a time that was like illegal to read. Wow. You know what I'm saying? She learned she went to college. She was like one of the first people in her family to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was her against the United States of America, and she won. And that way she could actually do real estate anywhere in the country. That's like, big. I seen when I was young, I'm in her office, and I seen this white man from, I think, Hood or something, go into the office, right? And he looked like, when you first go in, he looked like he was ready for business. He about to shut some stuff down, you know what I'm saying? Puffing and puffing. And then when he came out the office, he like looks just as sad and shit. I thought he was fine. I was like, he was apologizing and everything. And I was like, wow. And she basically said, and like, my grandma was so great at dissing people in the most polite way possible. It was like,
my grandmother would call that nice and nasty.
Yeah, she was like, she basically said, no, it's okay, baby. You just dumb. You just dumb. You're just dumb. Like that's all.
You
It
don't know whether to
is.
say thank you, ma'am, or feel
All
offended.
right, you came in here huffing and puffing, thinking that this nigga lady don't know what she talking about, and she happens to know what she's talking about, and she got mad respect when she passed, like the one of the senators of like for Virginia sent somebody to speak on his behalf because
Oh wow.
she did a lot of things in Portsmouth on the low. Like she
Good big
got
time.
people a house of equity. Like, oh man, I feel like my grandma could be. She done some Black history on the low in Portsmouth. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
And the mayor even said she sent somebody too. So that was one of my main influences or whatever. She's also an inspiration for like part of my book or whatever. Like
Oh
one of the
wow.
characters in my book, whatever. She controls the town, and it's a town for like refugees, whatever. So it's kind of like a homage to my grandma because that was her job pretty much.
That's
And
dope as
then
shit.
I would say celebrity wise, I would say, you have your celebrities going up, you always think they're cool or whatever, but the person I sat there that I really actually wanted to be as a person, man. The first Black person I saw was Michael Jackson. I was young. Be honest
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
Be honest with you. The first Black person I saw was Black. That just like did magical shit, and everybody was cool with whatever he did. 80s Michael Jackson or whatever.
That's real. That's
Or
real.
whatever. Then when I got older, I would say I'm gonna just say Stan Lee
Mm.
because when he started Marvel, he was in his 40s or whatever. And I'm like, you started that shit in your 40s? Like that's like really late, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Compared to a
Especially when you
lot
think of
of
how
the
long that shit went and how long he was alive still running that shit. Like
that's a whole 50 more years.
that's somebody else's whole life.
Exactly.
That's
Shit.
crazy.
1/3 of mine.
Right.
Like one third of that is my life. So just saying to myself, okay, I could start this shit now and at least see this, you know what I'm saying? Because Stan Lee, you know, I'm pretty sure he has a little bit more privilege than I do. So
Mm-hmm.
he got to see his own character swing in front of him when he was like 90. I need to hurry up and do this now because Black people life rate pretty much.
That's
But
real.
yeah, but him and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay.
I I love space.
Okay.
I love space, and it's just the simple fact that I can
I
see
rock with that.
the
I rock with
passion he
that.
had for science,
Yeah.
and the way I mean they asked that man to explain shit. He can explain just the most complex ideas about space and the universe and simplify it so you can understand it. You know what I'm
That's one
saying?
of the highest forms of mastery is when you can teach.
Mm-hmm. And like, not that I ever I'm always been into space and science and stuff like that. Not that I didn't. I have a hard time understanding some of the aspects of space and time and universe and stuff like that or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I wouldn't be able to explain it to someone else. And then when I watch that, I could be like, oh, all right. So now when I have conversations, I can explain it and it sounds like I know what I'm talking about instead of when I'm like, and sometimes like when we recorded on this podcast and
Hubbada,
I can't
hubbada,
think of
hubbada, hubbada, hubbada.
shit
You just got to
or
tell your
whatever.
tongue that you're ready to talk so that
Man,
he on the same
sometimes
page.
I'm gonna be since we thinking about ourselves. Sometimes, man, my brain moves faster than my tongue, so it's like I'm thinking
Your
faster
tongue be
than my
like, whoa,
what.
whoa, we moving.
Hey. My voice is like, man, slow
It's
down,
time,
man.
guys.
I got to
Teeth
say it
kick in.
first. So that's yeah. So yeah, those are my biggest influence. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X,
Okay.
Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Some rappers, Jay-Z, just for the certain aspects, pretty much. But yeah.
That's a pretty good list. I think that's a really dope list of influences there.
Mhm.
What have
Jesus.
been your okay? Of course, right on.
Yeah.
Um, what have been your defining moments in your life?
Defining moments or whatever. Um, Defining moments as what made me as a man that I am today, or
Yes,
just
like what would be the standout moments in your life that made Pat the Pat we see before us today?
um hmm, I think because a lot of me growing up was me getting out of my own shell. And I'm still trying to get out of that own shell or whatever. So I think the first time I actually freestyled around a bunch of group of people,
Mm.
because anybody else, all right, Rapper Pat was an experiment or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. On my last episode, I was like, sometimes you have to jump into your extrovert self or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
just dodge. That was me jumping into my extrovert shell or whatever. Because to be a rapper, you gotta have to be an extrovert or whatever,
Mm-hmm. That's
whatnot.
real. That's absolutely.
So, so which is the complete opposite of my personality. I'm an introvert. Like I can, I like to be in my own little cave, in my own little world, think of my own little ideas and stuff like that or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But when I first decided, all right, I'm gonna rap. All right, I'm gonna actually write a rhyme. All right, I'm gonna actually say this in front of people. All right, I'm gonna keep saying it in front of different people that don't know me at all to see if the fuck I'm actually saying is worth saying. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, okay. It's an open mic. Let me just try that or whatever. So, oh, okay, they're battling. I'm gonna try to battle. Just a simple version of just me trying. And then at one time, I would say when um it was ODU, it was right when I was promoting, and uh KRS-One came down to speak at ODU,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. He spoke first like keynote speaker type thing, and then the next day they had like a concert and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the dudes was promoting it or whatever. Somehow we got around KRS-One. I actually got to meet him, and I was like, man, I just want to freestyle with you, to say I freestyled with a freaking legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So,
That's that's some big shit. Not
so I
everybody can say they
didn't.
did it.
Yeah, like so I didn't get to freestyle him with him, but I was rounding the back, and he had this segment where he was like, all right, on some traditional hip hop shit, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
pass the mic to somebody
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So it was a local rapper there. I'm not gonna say no names. I don't know how you feel about it or whatnot. It was a local rapper there, and he was actually on a Nas song, and he was there with his crew, and they were fucked up. I ain't even gonna lie, they were drunk or whatever. He was up there. KRS-One gave
They
the
was
mic
fucked
to
up.
him. Yeah, like KRS-One gave the mic to him. He was freestyling, rapping, or whatever. It seemed like the crowd was liking their own thing. He started rapping some of the song that he did with Nas and everything. And KRS-One, I think he was like really big into the show. So he saw that like people were drifting off. He was just pouncing around. He looked like he was mad, like tough man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all of a sudden he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, grab the mic," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" So, so I'm like, "All
Hey,
right,
hey,
like,
one
ain't
of the
he?"
God MCs tell you to grab the mic. You grab the fucking microphone, man.
He said, "Ain't he?" I was like, "Ain't he performing?" He was like, "He went over there, grabbed the mic from the rapper, and then gave it to me." So that was the longest 3 seconds of decision making in my life. I was like, yo, if I don't rap something out my mouth when these people move out the way and put me out there, there's no more. It's no point of me rapping anymore.
That's real.
So I went out there. I started fucking rapping, my ass off. Yo, there's like footage somebody had. I need to find this footage, but they had
Yes, you do.
footage of KRS-One responding, like his facial expression when I said one of my lines and shit. I was like, when I say King of the V, gripping up my crown piece, put you in your place quicker than your house key. I said something like that, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Pat got bars.
Like
If
yeah,
y'all didn't know.
Pat did have bars, but we'll get into that. But but yeah, and then he actually bigged me up. It's I'm gonna find it. It's on YouTube somewhere, but they got an interview and he actually talks about passing the mic to me or whatever.
Oh,
He
that's
actually
fire.
did that. So there's footage out there actually saying that, but there's footage somewhere where he just like his eyes lit up when I said something or whatever. So that was a cool moment. That was like one of the moments that taught me like, all right, if you bout something, you gonna have to do it. There's gonna be time when you gotta show and prove. So you need to just go ahead and do it. So yeah.
Okay.
And countless other times that I've fucked up in life that have defined my moments and guided me in the right path.
That's real.
Pretty much.
Well, we all got them fuck up moments, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
damn sure with you there. What are your regrets, if you have any?
Oh man, there's many regrets. Some of them petty, some of them selfish, some of them I was like, I should have just went for that opportunity when I had the time, pretty much. But I smoke a lot, so I forget a lot of things.
If you can give
So
us your largest regret, like out of all of the ones that you have in your life, like the one that's like, oh damn, that's the one that I really wish.
I would say it was probably I have petty regrets.
And if you don't have any, that is okay too.
Yeah, I don't really have as the biggest. I think another one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn is that what's in the past is in the past, man. So if you ain't do it then, I need to cry about it.
That's real.
And I've cried about it a couple of times. So
that's real
yeah,
too.
a couple of times, yo. Matter of fact, face, I know you remember because one time, the day after that KRS-One gave me that mic or whatever, we had went out and he saw the rapper's face that he was talking about. He saw that salt. I remember.
Oh,
Or whatever.
shit.
I was like, yo, face, look at him when he look at me. And you saw that shit. Like, yeah, I saw that shit. But yeah, as far as regrets, is more like I wish I would have just stick to something and then stayed with it and finished it sooner.
That's real.
That's majority of if it was any type of regret, so like I should just stay with this, went with it, and went out, or just find something that I know that I am I would have more of a proficiency to instead of trying to be a computer fucking scientist or whatever or something
That's
like
real.
that and failing a couple of times in college and just went with it. Just my regret is not going with my gut a lot more and having more doubts on myself, and that prevented me doing a lot of decisions that would have probably excelled me a little bit more.
That's real. I can definitely respect you, and I definitely feel you on the college struggle. So you know how long it took me to get right with that. So I definitely understand that.
Mm.
As an adult, what is your dream currently?
My dream currently is to finish this book, which I need to upload some pages to my colorist tonight so we can go ahead and finish this book. Finish this book and establish that as part of my publishing company, my media company, so I can have more mediums and outlets outside of what my godlike book and everything like that. So, like my main dream is to have my own Marvel, pretty much.
Okay. So like
Yeah,
your own comic book conglomerate type thing.
my own Marvel, my own in-house entertainment situation where like right now I'm looking at it as a comic book, but it always start off with a small dream. So I just wanted to have it to the point that it have the potential that, all right, this might blow up into the next Disney with the Disney Plus app. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
because I have a lot of ideas, a lot of stories in my head. I got friends that my friend Twin makes horror short stories. So yeah, and I want to make an outlet for the arts in this area and for the black community too, or whatever. Because like with me, a lot of the stuff with the arts, we're in that age where, like in that age range where everybody used to play outside, and we're the borderline between the people that played outside and the people that learned how to build computers from scratch. So at the time of like, all right, I was learning art at a time where art was slowly transitioning into the digital phase or whatever. So I'm how to say, I have to learn a little bit more now to keep up, pretty much. And I'm in the midst of doing that now. And I had to learn a lot of this stuff on our own, because it's not like it's a comic book class. It might be one now, you know what I'm saying? But back then, it's not like it's a comic book class, or like it wasn't like how it is now, where I can just simply go to the computer and just find out what is the process of how they make a computer. I mean, how to make even a computer or a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to find little videos at Blockbuster with little documentaries about the comic book or whatever, try to figure it out. And then I'm learning the old-fashioned way, where I really should just be learning graphic design a whole lot more and just do the shit off the computer, pretty much. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm in the process of doing that, and yeah, that's pretty much my life accomplishments or whatever. I may get back in the rap one day when I feel like it, but yeah.
So that's your current dream. If your life were to end today, how would you sum up your life's accomplishments?
Incomplete. Y'all, look, God.
That nigga said incomplete.
God,
you mad about that thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be at the pearly gates mad as hell. Like, I mean, that's some real shit. Like,
hey man,
for
get
real.
some more time here, man. What you doing?
I'm like, oh look, I'm gonna be at a bit. We being blunt and honest right now. Look, I ain't married. I don't got no kids, so it's not like I got a legacy going or whatever. You know what I'm saying? My book is not fully out there yet, and I don't got the company running like I want to, whatnot. So, yeah, incomplete, man. That's a jip. Shit, I thank God every day for the blessing of life, but shit, I ain't even asked to be here, man. You put me on the existence where I was enslaved for 400 years, and then say, all right, nigga. Mate. All right, nigga. Here's a book. It was written 2,000 years ago. Don't got shit about graphic design. But yeah, here you go.
No COVID. Oh, but that nigga said, all right, nigga. God can't say, all right, nigga. God said, all right, nigga.
Here's a book.
Fuck out of here.
Here's a book. Listen to the guy in the fancy building with my symbol up there. My book don't got shit about graphic design, but you're gonna have to learn that shit. And yeah, credit. We ain't had credit in 2,000 years ago, but you gotta learn that shit now. Whatever.
All right, nigga. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Incomplete, man. You might want to hit the reset button on this. You know what I'm saying? You might want to just go. Yeah, like blowing the cartridge. It really doesn't do anything for your video games, I learned, but hey, it makes you feel better.
That was a classic Pat answer there, man. That was awesome.
All right, this is the realest shit.
If you know Pat personally, that was just such a Pat moment right there. Incomplete. Out of here. All right, nigga. Oh man. I need that on a shirt. All right, nigga.
Let's just try to be real about the shit, man. Nah, man.
So my last question, and then you off the hot seat, champ. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? / how will you get there?
Oh man, that's a big question. I am going to be the owner of my publishing company. And we
Okay.
will have plenty of products and books out there to display for you. We'll have the merch. You can have a shirt with that up there. You know what I'm saying? We're slowly on the way. Video games, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like, and I know for a fact I'll at least have my books out pretty much
Okay.
5-10 years, because my first book is going to be done or whatever. And just have that and this Podnas empire. Pretty much, I feel like at the rate we're going, yeah, that's a whole nother outlet. That's a whole nother company right there to build on and stuff like that. Maybe I have a family. Maybe I have a queen. Lord willing.
All right. You 223 subscribers out there, the Pod Squad. Hashtag in the next 10 years, get Pat a wife.
Oh, hell yeah. I probably should get one by now. I'll be old.
Yeah, get
Not
Pat
that
a
I don't
wife.
want one.
Hashtag get Pat a wife.
It's not that I don't want one. It's just crazy out in these streets.
Yeah, we definitely went there. It's a damn jungle out here. For real.
Made me wonder how to keep from going under. Sometimes I go under, man, but you got to get a rubber if you go under.
Random. Melly Mel teeth are horrible. It has nothing to do with anything, but
you see that interview?
God damn. Woo. People, dental health is real. I know they say mental health is real, but dental health is essential. God damn, Melly Mel. They're about to go rot and the whole bottom row about to go. No, sir. No, sir. But yeah, those are all the questions I have for you. Pat, you off the hot seat. And hopefully, Pod Squad, hopefully y'all have gotten to know Pat a little better.